Good. I made so many videos that I don't have to do anything in the summer, and that I won't die in my apartment since it's getting so hot in my apartment. This should give me enough time to get a break. What at this? A new update? I just wanted to have a break after getting COVID-19 for the second time, and now I have to work again. I don't want to.
You want it, or I will kill your channel again, and you don't want to lose that draft, which I got recently, right?
Again the YouTube god. Seriously girl, why the hell do I have to work my ass off while the other?
You will do it, did you understand?
I hate you all. Hello my cute and very powerful witches, I'm the underrated and underpaid merciless witch, and today, I will have to upload this video before my exposed video series is ending because of that evil YouTube god. And the worst is, I have to do it while I die in my hot apartment because it is summer, and I still have COVID. So to make it more spicy will I rank the update in good and bad parts, and give later a rating from how good or bad the ranking is, since this is easier to do for me and requires a heavy amount of work because my body apparently hates me and completely not trashing my video where I made a rework for every perk in Dead by Daylight because I had a funny idea but can't do it anymore. Let's get into it. I don't like where this is going. I don't like this title, and I'm scared. Please someone help, was my first reaction when I did read this title. After reading and knowing that you only get level 2 perks and level 3 perks if you prestige, do I not only want to shoot in my eyes, because I also want to wipe my memory from the last minute, because they announced before this title that they will reduce the grind in the game. Yes, you will unlock the personal perks from this character also to other blood webs if you did bought them, but it doesn't make it better to let me run with only trash effects, because everyone knows how shitty level 1 or 2 effects are. I don't know which person wrote this, but I know that developers are A, drunk, ASF, and B, completely wasted because this is not reducing grind. Wow, we won't lose now anything at all, so if we prestige doesn't bring anything at all, and I think that's why they created this whole hellhole with perks now, because prestiging wouldn't bring anything at all, but this wasn't anything yet. The bloody cosmetics are now only be available on prestige level 4, 5, 6, and for prestige level 7, 8, 9 are we getting super duper nice charms which are doing nothing at all and just looking dumb as fuck because they don't have any value. I thought they wanted to make something cool and give the people maybe cooler skins for a higher prestige, but no, we're removing them their prestige clothing and giving them nothing at all on top of it. Behavior didn't reduce the grind, they just made it look like that they reduce it, because removing something which was actually cool just to get a higher playership is just wrong in my opinion, and shows that they are still nothing learned at all. But hey, I was so foolish to think that they are getting it now with the updates. What else comes next? A Shrine of Secret update. I have to learn to shut up because I'm jinxing everything which I don't want and doesn't help the game at all. The funnier part on that is that the developer team forgot that this shit still does exist because it got forgotten in the last years, or else they wouldn't write down that you can buy teachable perks from it there in the update. But hey, you can offer you hard-worn sharks now for an upgrade on a shitty perk level, because for else isn't it good? Again, for the trash can. In this one they are just basically saying that they won't deleting your perks or prestige clothing away and giving you more prestige levels on top of it on how many perks you have, and you will get a super duper nice icon on your prestige so that everyone knows how fancy you are. To be honest, for selling me this as an update is just wrong and shows how completely lost this team is, because this isn't an update. This is something which you would do automatically to not getting cancelled from Dowsy on Twitter again, which no one wants of us, because then I have to tell everyone to use their brain for 1 second again. But we can be at least now happy yet, because they didn't said anything with matchmaking yet, so we should give them huge probs that they finally gave up with it. Why is this here? Please don't tell me it is SBMM, MMR or Lumnop, because else I'm going crazy. And please don't let it be trash. Did my brain panic? Because till this point we only had trash as update. But if I understood it right, is this update actually good, because this is giving the role which is more needed but only works if you have crossplay on, since this could have been abused as hell. They showed this already on the anniversary stream, but I'm happy that they will finally implement this, since this will help a lot of killer players in the game to come back, especially with that shitty new prestige system. Good job with that one. The generator speed update is, to say it in very shortly, good for the killer players, since they are getting at least 50 seconds more in a round. Why? Well, the survivors are now needing 10 seconds more for completing a generator, aka from 80 seconds to now 90 seconds, which is huge, since this almost fully minute can be used for other stuff or to pressure the survivors more, but that wasn't it. From now does kicking the generator removes 2,5% from the maximum progress, which doesn't sound a lot, but will help to defeat the generator better with perks like Call of Brine, Hex, Ruin and more. anymore, and you don't need pop goes off the weasel that desperately anymore. Those two changes will at least buy 1 to 2 minutes free for the killer, and it will make the rounds a bit harder for the survivor, which is needed so that they can't gen rush that badly anymore or try to get the attention from the killer to fuck them up. The survivor mains did it again. They hacked into the hackverse from Dead by Daylight and hacked a whole mechanic now so that they can scream and cry like a wild meg if you hit them, aka what I call Hack Wart 7, the survivor mains awakens. So what did they change? Well, from now on survivors will receive a 5 seconds endurance effect after getting unhooked and also getting them 7% speed boost in that time. I have multiple questions and I'm sure that I'm getting not a single answer from Behavior Interactive, but here again, I will ask them since I don't have any live apparently to the woolly YouTube god. My first question is, did you forget about borrowed time? My second question is, did you forget that babysitter is a thing? And my last question is, what does 5 seconds bring? Wait, I can't answer the last question because I can use my head for once. Exactly, nothing. Because waiting out those 5 seconds isn't a problem, but for the other two, was I again right that the developers did drink something, because this is exactly what we don't need, you maggots. And it won't make it better if you add in that if they do something except for running and using pallets, because again, it's 5 seconds and those 5 seconds won't be doing anything at all. But hey, let's pretend that it does something, or else the survivor mains are getting fucking angry again like in Hack Warts 8, the last toxic survivor mains. Oh, and before we move on, do I want to say that I like that they care about camping and tunneling, especially if they don't, but hey, who am I to rate if Behavior Interactive took some hardcore drugs or just some alcohol? God, thankfully a viewer of mine reminded me of this because I just forgot this part of the update, because there was so much shitty stuff in that update that my brain didn't save it somehow. But God, thankfully I'm a witch and can change stuff for my videos. Anyways, the changes in this one are only some small ones, but they will definitely improve the gameplay for the killers. Basically, to make the video not so much longer as it is already, will they knock off 10% of breaking pallets, kicking generators, cooldown for successful basic attacks, and that speed boost which are survivors getting if they got hit once. 10% doesn't sound as much, but it will help out because it reduces most of the time between 0.2 to 0.3 seconds and will maybe save you that the survivor won't get that save loop which they always like to misuse. The next buff for them do I not very like because trusting on it isn't a good sign in my opinion, but they will also buff the bloodlust stages for 15, 25, 35 seconds every stage instead of 15, 30, 45 seconds, but I just don't like it, not gonna lie. Hopefully it will help a bit because I'm a bit scared of it, like the whole update, because it reads a bit like a mess, which we don't need if we're honest. I thought I didn't had to rank any perks again for this year at least, but guess what? I was fucking wrong again, because this company likes to rate my upload plans more than my neighbor, which is calling the police at 2 a.m. because I fucking chatted with someone. I know too many details, but he is really a problem, trust me. Where was I? Ah yes, completely ramming my face to the keyboard again, because I have to rank a shitload of perks again. So I will now do a tier list for the tier list, because I can't get enough of tier lists, and B, we're still in a ranking here. With that being said, let's start before Karen is calling the police for nothing again. Number 1, barbecue and chili. Oh boy, you are touching that again. You know you will make the killer mains angry as fuck again, right? I don't have to tell you what it does because let's be honest, we all know what it does. We're not dumb because this isn't a tutorial channel here. Since Behavior is drunk and is thinking that it was a genius idea to make the grind harder and selling it for less grind, do they think that they should remove the blood points from it because for some fucking reason is that a thing now? If you are now asking if I kid you, then I'm sorry but I'm not. They even write it here. That perk is just trash. Number 2, Hex, Ruin. So Hex, Ruin is now a meta. Oh my, in which world do we live that this shitty perk has any value? Oh wait, in this one. Thank you for reminding me. They will nerf it and reduce the reduction speed from 200% to 100% on level 3, because for some it is now a problem. Yeah, it has to be Survivor Hackers from Hack Warts episode 3, The Revenge of the Survivor main, because can't I understand that you will nerf that garbage of a code more than it is already, and make it more worthless than Okado's whole channel. Number 3, Pop Goes the Weasel. What? A nerf which isn't completely trash and totally understanding because of a new mechanic in the game. Where am I? Ah, forget that world again. I really have to stop using my lines over and over again. Anyways, they will just reduce it from 25% to 20% gen progress, so a good change. Number 4, Corrupt Intervention. Wow, again a debuff which doesn't wreck the perk down to the ground, because they will only change now that the perk will be deactivated after you down the first survivor, which again will make the killer mains mad, but this perk was just as strong, and is making me happy that all those copycats which are copying the perk combinations from the YouTubers and streamers are getting wrecked to the ground since this perk requires some skill again. Number 5, Tinkerer. That weird perk which got changed 300 times in a row got changed again, but don't worry. It's a nerf, but not such a strong since anything will stay the same except that the perk will only activate one time for each generator, which is good because again, this perk was too strong and required no skill to win a round, so it's good that the players have to use it wisely. Number 6, no one escapes merciless_witches videos because they are so good. I'm sorry, but sometimes I have to do some iconic advertising for myself because the way No One Escapes Death got changed so many times is so iconic that it is just perfect to do that. So what did they do with that perk again? Well, it is weird and again shows me that they drank something, so stick with me. I will try my best to explain it to you. So every 30 seconds the survivor can see the totem in a range from 4 meters, but it will increase every 4 meters every 30 seconds to a max of 24, which means you get 3 minutes out of your totem if you're lucky, because the survivors will use that or it will be getting ripped apart in the round already. Number 7, Scourge Hook, Pain Resonance. I think they stopped drinking alcohol because again, this is a nerf which is okay and doesn't break the idea from this perk because they will just remove the screaming and loud notification from it. Still, it's still strong and it will be breaking this stupid dead man switch perk combination, and actual has to make the player their head for once in a while. With that being said, those were the debuffs for the killer perks, and I want to move on to do buffs from the killer side before the survivor will hack all those perks back in Hack Warts episode 2, Attack of the Survivor Warriors. Number 8, Overcharge. I don't care if the perks are underrated as hell, but I won't say what it does before time issues is a thing for me, so sorry. To be honest here, I really don't like this buff because it ruins the idea from this perk, and B, it isn't buffed because this is a rework. If you just delete the old idea just because you can't make it work for the killers. From how on will the perk cause a kicked generator's regression speed to grow from 100% to 400% over the course of 30 seconds, which is a good idea, but again, I miss the old one, but still good buff. Number 9, Eruption. Wow, I don't know what this perk is, and I don't want to research it right now because you can read right now here, but what I know is that this is now a buff and not a rework LMAO, and that it will give you more from it what it did before. Yeah, I'm being honest here, I really don't care about it, but I will declare it as a good buff because it will help someone somewhere somehow. Yeah, we're now at that stage of perks. LOL. Number 10, Knockout. Hey, it's the Bubba perk which does literally nothing, and will still do nothing because the buff does nothing than some ultra niche effects, but for those who are interested in it, from now on will the survivors crawl 50% slower and their recovery speed is reduced by 25%. If you want me to care about this waste of code, should you maybe add in another 50% to both of those buffs, and then we can talk about not ignoring it anymore. Okay, good, because it is still a joke which didn't got deleted yet somehow. Number 11, Calrophobia. This one is so underrated, and now to make it also better, and it will be ignored because the killer mains don't like easy and good stuff apparently, but for those who maybe wants to switch up, does it now also make the skill check harder or faster from the survivor? I don't know because I don't understand it, but still underrated, so go ahead and play with it or else I will jinx to make Node worse than it is already. And nobody wants that from us, right? Number 12, Dark Devotion. Having no heartbeat for a long time is good, especially if you are Bubba main, and don't try to pretend to know that it isn't strong because we both know that it is. They just gave it low buff that any type of attack will give you that 0 heartbeat because it is good enough, so try it out because I don't get how some perks can be so criminally underrated like my channel. Just a fact, sorry though. Number 13, Jolt. Look, it almost looks like Overcharge because there are so many generators pictures on that anti-progression perks that I thought that they would be the same. Seriously, the art team from Dead by Daylight have to step up their game because all those generator pictures are making me so dizzy that even you couldn't tell which perk is which. Since this perk is underrated again like the others because a lot of the DBD YouTubers don't want to step up their game with perk combination, it will also now get its cooldown removed, but it will still probably be ignored since it is too basic sadly. I like it, but if the YouTubers are not playing it, no one is playing it sadly. Number 14, Trash Perk 69,420. So you like bad perks, huh? On top of the shitty existing effect which is just wasting you perk slot because you just have to copy your favorite DBD YouTuber for the 700th time, Lethal Pursuer will now extend the duration of all aura reading effects by 2 seconds, which still brings nothing because it's only 2 seconds, so don't you try to dare to tell me differently because this perk is just trash, no matter what you say to me. Should have been the description for that one, but I'm fine with that because I can just change it if needed. Number 15, Scourge Hook, Gift of Pain. They just made the numbers higher to 10, 13, 16%. What? Did you expect something funny here? Well, sorry, but I don't because I know that no one is going to watch this LOL. Number 16, Thanatophobia. idea. You are kidding me, right? This perk is strong, the Legion mains are knowing what I am talking about, but this is a joke. People really have to wake up because this perk is so strong. This perk needed a buff. I thought they would have trash it to the bin, but for some random reason they decided to make it a little bit stronger, with giving it to a max from 20% to 22%. Since I am biased as hell. Is that perk update of course a good update, but it shocks me that they want to make it even stronger than as it is already. People wake up please. Number 17, Scourge Hook. Useless code. Who thought that this is a good idea? Who is going to use is if we are ignoring the basement Bubis for a second. And why the hell is it now a Scourge Hook? Is now Cupcake getting a Scourge Hook because you are apparently make now everything a Scourge Hook? Or why in hell's name does it still nothing after the rework? I'm sorry but I won't tell you what it does because this is such a waste of my time that I want to skip to the survivor perks so I can see what that drunk developer from Behavior Interactive did while I had COVID-19. Let's see what the killer mains from Hacker Warts episode 6, Return of the Killer Mains changed. It just can be good, right? Number 1, Dead Hard. You want to see the world, the game and my comment section killing each other because if you touch the perk which the Hooli survivor minds can't live without it. Does that mean we're like in Hacker Warts episode 2, Attack of the Survivor Mains where they tried to kill me and the other killer players in this game while writing this script because of that, but let me explain to you what they changed. You won't get any distance anymore, but you are getting a shitty borrowed time effect if you press button for 1 second. Please don't kill me.
This is the survivor main police officer. Meg Teabag here.
What the hell are you doing in my video?
We are here because we have to investigate on which person rubbed our main weapon, and you Miss WH are the main source from this.
Listen, I did nothing wrong, I just only want to see the world burn back.
Yes, you did something wrong, because my investigating investor mind is telling me that you did something wrong, because I am such a professional investigator in the investigator community, in the Dead by Daylight community, because of my huge investigator investor mindset.
What the fuck did I just listen, and in why in the hell's name are you teabagging me now? Where was I after this unneeded and boring scene for this video? Yes, it's a good update. And I'm happy that those survivors won't have any perks now, which they just get something out of their ass for nothing. Maybe there was someone who listened to me for once, hopefully. Number 2, off the record. I did it again. I jinxed stuff which nobody wanted, and which makes my life now more suffering than a pig main. I wanted a buff for this perk, but not a broken mess which will make all the survivor mains now horny again, because God save us if the survivor has to actually get some skills for once. So apparently the developers did thought that this is a good idea, to rework the perk to give the survivors after getting unhooked to 80 seconds endurance effect. But hey, at least I know why they gave the killers more time now for the generators, because they will need it because they know that everyone will abuse the perk to the ground. I already can see Meg teabagging in the background because she knows that she can abuse a new perk to the ground. Are we now changing perks just to make one another perk extremely strong? Or why does this exist? Now I know why Dowsy liked this perk update so much, because I would be also happy as a hardcore survivor main for this change, but I know they can't make it worse now because this is the worst of all, right? Right? Number 3, Calm Spirit. You guys want to see me rubbing my face to the keyboard again because they made it worse again to the 69,420 time. Wow, we can now bless totems silently and open chests silently, but for a reduced speed from 40 to 30% on top of it. Yes, you still have the old effect on top of it, but why would anyone want to use that now? I didn't thought that I could ever say that, but congrats for getting the first award as a video game company to create a buff which makes the perk worse than before. I never knew that it is now the theme on what we're going to do, but hey, I hope you will enjoy this beautiful drawing of a pile of nothing, because I don't even want to draw something for that scene right now since I'm so confused and distraught that someone could ever do that. Let's see what they did with Decisive Strike. Number 4, Decisive Strike. At least they didn't make that one bad, because if they would have made this one bad, would I probably stop making this video because I would had to recover my brain cells from that again because of the hardcore brain damage I got while reading the script for this video. They just basically make the stunning effect from 5 seconds to 3 seconds shorter, aka it won't be such a huge fuck up for the killers anymore, and they made the perk deactivated if the exit gates are powered. This debuff is okay, but it didn't get the debuff what I wanted. My wish was that this perk will deactivate if I go into a locker so that the survivor can't force it out. But who am I asking for wishes if I know when the developer is drunk as hell? By the way, I am asking myself now what they did with borrowed time, since they made off the record the completely huge train wreck as it is from now on, but it will probably make me die if I just read, because this update is scarier than CM Winter and Okadio together. Number 5, Borrowed Time. So we're just taking the effect from borrowed time and giving it for everyone and to a old perk while completely deleting the old effect from it so that we all can pretend that it is new, especially if it's not, and just replacing it with effect which still does the same shit just in a different and complicated way again. That reminds me of the prestige system again. How iconic, but borrowed time just got buffed because the borrowed time effect which everyone has is 5 seconds plus the 10 seconds from the new borrowed time is 15 seconds, aka 2 seconds more, with also the speed boost because they still somehow not remember babysitter, which is understandable since it is a waste of code since its release. Again, congrats for doing the wholly opposite of the creating a effect which it shouldn't do, but hey, the killer got 10 seconds more now for each generator, aka this is just a bad joke, and I won't approve till they made something out of it because I remind you, off the record has 80 seconds my witches. Number 6, Iron Will. The more I read and learn about the changes, the more does my mind go insane, because how can you fuck up something so easy, and taking the easy way, and not the better but more harder way to implement it. They knocked off 25% from Iron Will, and to be honest, I'm a bit sad now from Behavior Interactive because normally I wanted to upload a video where I rework almost every survivor perk, where I also reworked Iron Will where I thought about a minute to make it weaker but not so shitty that no one wants to use it, but the point is, I had in that minute more ideas for this perk than this team, because they just decided to remove a bit of the sound which just makes me sad. Like not sad because it's so weak now, but sad that they used the easier way than the better way, because they are better ways to make it weaker, but they would require work which they tried to save on this whole update. Number 7, Self-Care. I don't know who is still using it and wasting a perk slot with it. I don't know why you should ever want to use it, but I know that people are still using it instead of a med kit, and I'm so fine with this debuff that it is now 15% slower, and the removal from the med kit buff, because the people need to stop healing in a corner, while they are wasting a whole minute for it just because they don't want to use a med kit, and if you should still use it, don't you have to cry in the Dead by Daylight forums in there that everyone is letting you die because using this perk is almost like a crime against human rights. Just to let you know, just saying. Number 8, Spine Chill. Oh boy, you made it guys. They nerfed Spine Chill because the vault bonus was too crazy I guess, but at least it is still more better than this other perk where you get a notification every 45 seconds if the killer should dare to look at you. Oh my, I'm completely losing myself today in topics. How iconic. So thank you for all those lovely YouTubers and copycats, which had to play that one fast vaulting build since they don't know what taste is, but that will be removed, and the perk will only blink if the killer has a clear line to you while adding a 0.5 seconds lingering effect so that we don't get as much of information out as used to be. Someone in the developer team was I guess very mad about this, but I don't have a problem with it, while the only problem for me is that this whole thing reeks of a developer which memed everyone in the team because it is to opt to have those 0.0000001 second faster vaulting speed, and this is also why I ranked as bad, but maybe next time, if it doesn't reek so much of a Karen. Number 9, Saboteur. Does anyone remember the old times when this perk was extremely strong and everyone used it? Nope. Well, that's because you didn't play Dead by Daylight for that long, hehe. Nowadays it is more mid-tier, which is, to be honest, understandable, but seeing now the Scourge hooks in yellow can help the team to identify a lot of perks with that, but still, I won't use it, sorry, and accept that buff. Number 10, Botany Knowledge. How is this perk not used? I thought this one would be too strong, and to be honest, I thought Botany is getting a nerf, but for some random reason do I live in a different galaxy, like always. I like that you can heal up now 50% faster, but I know the Dead by Daylight community, and they will completely ignore it probably, because anything else would be weird for me at this point on. I mean, we live in a universe right now, where they made a buff to a debuff, and a debuff to a buff, but I try to react as if the perk did never excited so that I can do a fancy reaction like the other YouTubers, but that is another topic for other videos. Number 11, Pharmacy. I didn't want to jinx it again, but for some reason they are calling this a buff when it isn't, aka what I like to call as a drunk person who wrote this bullshit. You are not making my life easier with that if I only can use it when I'm injured, you know, but someone thought that this perk is so much hated that they have to make it even worse for probably this video, so nice job Behavior, because this helps on working my ass off again. Number 12, Soul Survivor. Oh my, this change is actually good. Still not perfect, but at least a change which I can fully support for once in a while. I know, very rare hearing that from me, but before I forget on telling you what they changed, let me explain it fast. So you still have that garbage anti-aura reading thingy, which I won't explain to you since I have a live, but now you can open exit gates and the hatch 50% faster, which makes wake up completely useless, which is good, because we don't need that here, and your repair speed is increased by 75% if the killer wants to let you wait for not closing the hatch, but you're only getting those buffs if you are the last one, aka you have to let die your whole mates just to get those 15% 15 seconds of strongness. I hope I explained that correctly because that was a lot, not gonna lie. Number 13, distortion. It just got buffed recently and it got buffed again because you can regain now tokens every 30 seconds if you are not in the killer radius. What else do the developers have to add in to make the survivor mains use it? Seriously, I don't understand what your problem is, guys, but I have maybe an idea on why, which I won't say loudly yet since this video is for next week, but here a little spoiler for those who are still watching. I know, I'm such an iconic witch to shadow drop a video into a perk tier list. Thank me later. Number 14, another code of waste. Look, witches, another waste of code which will be never used and still didn't get better because the scratch marks are now 2 seconds faster away than the usual 3. Yeah, I'm not sorry for this one. Next. Number 15, deja vu. I like how they are adding 10 seconds on top of the generators and adding now a effect that you can repair generators faster. I like this because I would have done the same, but I know that someone will misuse it somehow. Just have it in my feeling, but still a good one. Number 16, no one left behind. Not gonna lie, I think this perk is a bit underrated since the times I took it with me did help me a lot, but this 7% won't help a lot because the survivors will still treat it as trash, and since I want to end this ranking, will I rush a bit through the next perks since I have to get this video done ASAP. Number 17, dark sense of humor. Could we all need, because this is a buff which isn't one, but I also like the idea behind it. What they basically changed is that the perk will only activate if the killer comes in the area from 24 meters from you with more seconds, but let's be honest here, it will rarely help, and the times that helped was to see where the killer was. However, this one is rather more my opinion than a fact, so I can understand if a lot of people will understand this as a buff, but to be honest, I don't like this change. Next please, number 18, tenacity. It will still only help you if you use unbreakable or any other perk which lets you stand up on your own, but at least you're quieter now. No, just know, this isn't doing it for me, and you could have just let it as it be because it won't change anything. Sadly, some sloppy work again, and I'm getting a bit pissed off from it that they changed the easy stuff with stuff which will do nothing. Again, bad. Number 19, hope. That they changed it now just shows me that they are just forgetting their perks to update because the timer from it was removed now. That was needed for years, and that they have not updated this perk for over 5 years just shows how bad it is. They could have given us at least plus 2% more speed or something like that, but this is just sad, and I won't call it as an update since this was over time now to be done. I really like this perk, but this is just a bad joke. Number 20, overzealous. How iconic to buff the newest perk from the survivors' newest perk because it got released so badly that no one wants to touch it. The effect is now doubled, but I doubt that it will change anything at all since you will lose this in no time, if you want to or not, but I will rank it as good since they at least did it faster than with hope. Number 21, we're gonna rod forever. They just basically removed the blood points thingy and added a borrowed time effect for in it for the survivors which are down on the ground. Why are we calling this again as a buff? Ah yes, because they were drunk. Let's get over to the end words since I don't have any words for that junk anymore. I'm sorry. End words. Guys, I won't lie to you, but this whole update reads like a drunk and not well thought mess. Most of the perks aren't getting better while the killers are only getting the buffs to justify the stronger buffs for the survivors. I really believe that the updates from Dead by Daylight got better and better, but the more I read this whole thing, it was probably only luck that we got some good buffs. This is just a mess, and I don't like this update at all. Yes, it has some good bits here and there, but the most of the stuff is just straight for the garbage, and the funny part is that they have a team for this. My tip is to release the good workers from the basement and to rework this update since this just feels like a joke, but a very bad one. With that, I want to thank you for watching the video, and hopefully to see you in next week's video again. See ya!